Are we living in a non-physical reality? What if this solid world you can touch, the ground under your feet, the air you're breathing right now, what if it's all just a complex and very stubborn illusion? Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But what if I told you some of the sharpest minds in history stumbled their way to a similar conclusion? They followed the trail of evidence from the tiniest particles to the edges of the cosmos, and it led them to question the very nature of physical reality itself. The idea that our reality isn't physical is a profound thought that messes with your head. It's where cutting-edge physics, ancient philosophy, and deep spiritual questions all crash into each other. For most of history, the world was simple. It was made of stuff, hard, predictable physical stuff. But about a century ago, that straightforward picture started to fall apart. Scientists, trying to find the ultimate building blocks of matter, found a world so bizarre and paradoxical it defied all common sense. They looked into the atom's core and didn't find a solid center, but a buzzing, probabilistic cloud of potentialities. This didn't just upend physics, it planted a seed of doubt that has grown into one of the biggest questions of our time. Is the universe fundamentally physical, or is it something else? A projection? A field of information? Or maybe, just maybe, a product of consciousness itself? Today, we're taking a journey through the mind-bending evidence that suggests we might just be living in a non-physical reality. For centuries, the universe was seen as a giant clock, a predictable machine of planets and particles following the solid laws laid out by Isaac Newton. Reality was out there, existing completely separate from us. But as the 20th century kicked off, this cozy worldview started to unravel. The journey into the quantum realm began, and with it, the first cracks in the foundation of physicalism started to show. The most famous, and maybe the most unsettling, of these is the double-slit experiment. Imagine you're shooting tiny particles, like electrons, at a wall with two slits in it. On the other side, a screen shows where they land. If electrons are like tiny marbles, you'd expect to see two bands on the screen, right where they pass through, and sometimes that's what happens. But this is where things get weird. If you don't watch which slit the electron goes through, it stops acting like a particle, it starts acting like a wave. A single electron appears to go through both slits at once, interfering with itself, creating an interference pattern of many bands on the screen. It's as if the particle, when no one is looking, dissolves into a wave of pure possibility. The second you put a detector there to see which path it took, the wave pattern disappears, and you're back to two bands. The act of measuring, of observing, seems to force the electron to pick a side and act like a solid little particle again. This is the observer effect, and it has staggering implications. It points to a deep, mysterious link between observation and reality. It's not just a physical bump from a clumsy measuring device. Later, more advanced experiments showed the effect holds up even with incredibly gentle measurements. Now, it's crucial to say that most physicists agree the observer can be an inanimate detector. It doesn't have to be a person. This isn't about human consciousness in the everyday sense, but about the fundamental interaction of a measurement with a quantum system. But the implications were so wild that the legendary physicist John Wheeler, a peer of Einstein's, proposed we live in a participatory universe. He famously said, "No phenomenon is a real phenomenon until it is an observed phenomenon." This isn't just a philosophical whim, it's an idea forced on us by bizarre and repeatable experiments. It makes you wonder, if a particle's properties aren't fixed until measured, what does that say about reality itself? The double-slit experiment was just the beginning. The deeper physicists looked, the more clues they found that our reality isn't the straightforward physical place we think it is. First up is a phenomenon Albert Einstein colorfully called spooky action at a distance. Today we know it as quantum entanglement. Imagine two particles created together, their fates forever linked. Say one has to spin up and the other down. Quantum mechanics says that until you measure them, they are in a superposition of both states. But the instant you measure one and see it spinning up, you know with 100% certainty that its twin, even if it's across the galaxy, is now spinning down. This connection appears to happen faster than the speed of light, which Einstein's own theory said was impossible. This freaked him out because it broke a common-sense rule called local realism, the idea that things have definite properties and are only affected by their immediate surroundings. Yet experiment after experiment has proven entanglement is real. This doesn't necessarily prove reality is non-physical, but it does show that on a fundamental level, the universe is non-local. Seemingly separate particles aren't really separate at all. They're part of one indivisible system, connected in a way that seems to ignore space and time, pointing to a reality that is far more holistic and interconnected than we ever thought. Next, let's go back to superposition. It isn't just that particles can be in two places at once. It's that before you look, they don't seem to have definite properties at all. They exist as a cloud of probabilities described by a mathematical formula called the wave function. Think of it like a video game. The game's code holds all the possibilities for a room you haven't entered yet. It only renders the specific details, the real image, when your character opens the door. Some physicists and information theorists wonder if reality works the same way. The universe might not be a fixed, pre-existing thing, but a dynamic system that only renders reality when an observation forces its hand. A recent theory from a University of Portsmouth physicist even suggests that gravity might be the universe's way of compressing data to run more efficiently. What we see as the physical world could be the output of a deeper, computational, and fundamentally non-physical process. And if that's not strange enough, there's the quantum Zeno effect. The name comes from an ancient Greek philosopher, and in the quantum world it means you can basically freeze a quantum system just by watching it. An unstable atom will eventually decay, but if you could measure it over and over, super fast, checking if it's still there, the very act of repeated observation can prevent it from ever changing. It's as if the system is constantly forced to decide its state, preventing the natural decay process. This powerfully shows that observation isn't passive. It's an active participation that can alter what happens next, further challenging our ideas about a fixed physical world. These quantum phenomena are truly mind-bending, aren't they? If the idea that just looking at something can freeze it in time is blowing your mind, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We get into these reality-bending topics every week, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. These wild ideas from physics might feel brand new, but the thought that reality isn't fundamentally physical is ancient. For thousands of years, philosophers and mystics came to similar conclusions just by thinking and looking inward. In a way, modern science might just be catching up to old wisdom. Long before quantum mechanics, the philosophy of idealism argued that reality is fundamentally mental or conscious. Philosophers like George Berkeley famously said, "To be is to be perceived. Things only exist when a mind perceives them." This was mostly seen as a neat philosophical puzzle, but it has a strange echo in the observer effect. Even Max Planck, the founder of quantum theory, said something that would make an idealist philosopher nod in agreement. "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness." It should be noted that a more famous quote often attributed to him, about a conscious and intelligent mind being the matrix of all matter, comes from a 1944 speech and reflects his personal philosophical views, not a direct scientific conclusion. Still, for a father of modern physics to say consciousness is fundamental is a jaw-dropping statement because it completely flips our conventional understanding of reality on its head. This idea also resonates deeply with many world spiritual traditions. In Eastern philosophies like Hinduism's Advaita Vedanta, the concept of Maya describes the physical world as a grand illusion, a projection from a single universal consciousness called Brahman. Buddhism talks about emptiness, meaning that things don't have their own independent existence, but are all interconnected, which sounds a lot like quantum entanglement. These traditions have long taught that the separation we feel between ourselves and the world is the real illusion. Today, these ancient ideas have a new digital age cousin, the simulation hypothesis. Made popular by philosopher Nick Bostrom, it suggests we could be living inside a giant computer simulation run by a more advanced civilization. While it's easy to dismiss as sci-fi, some physicists take it seriously, looking for clues like a pixelation of space-time. at the smallest scales. It's a speculative idea, and recent research has pointed out the immense, perhaps impossible, energy that would be required to run such a simulation, requiring computational power far beyond anything we can currently imagine. But whether you call it Maya, a matrix of mind, or a simulation, the core idea is the same. The world we see every day might not be the final word on reality. So if reality isn't what it seems, if it's a participatory game shaped by observation, what does that mean for you and me? The implications aren't just for scientists. They're personal, and they could change how we see ourselves and our role in the universe. First, it changes the answer to the question, what am I? If consciousness is fundamental and matter is just a byproduct, maybe we're not just bodies that happen to have minds. Maybe it's the other way around. We could be fundamental units of consciousness having a physical experience. That shifts our identity from a tiny gear in a huge, unfeeling machine to a key player in the creation of the cosmos. The universe isn't just something we're in. It's something we're deeply a part of. We aren't separate from the reality we see. We're required for it to even become real. This leads to the empowering and controversial idea that our focus and intention matter. If the simple act of measurement can collapse a wave of possibilities into one single outcome, what could focused, conscious intention do? This is a highly speculative area, and it's important to be clear, this is not settled science. Some researchers are exploring it, but it's on the frontiers of our understanding. The observer effect might just be the tiniest hint of a much bigger principle, that consciousness isn't a passive bystander, but an active participant. Of course, many physicists still hold a purely physicalist view. They believe consciousness is just a complex side effect of our brain's wiring and that all these quantum mysteries will one day be solved without needing such radical new ideas. But the problems with a purely physicalist view are getting harder to just brush aside. As the physicist Časlav Bruckner, a leading thinker on the foundations of quantum mechanics, puts it, there is something wrong with the notion of realism, the idea that objects have independent properties regardless of our observations. The evidence strongly suggests that facts can depend on who is looking. We're not dealing with a minor glitch. We're facing a full-blown crisis in our understanding of reality, one that points to a world that's far more mysterious, interconnected, and non-physical than we ever imagined. So where does all this leave us? We've journeyed from the weirdness of the double-slit experiment to the spooky connections of quantum entanglement. We've seen how modern science seems to echo ancient philosophers and mystics who claimed the world of appearances is a kind of illusion. The solid line between the observer and the observed, between mind and matter, has completely dissolved. The evidence doesn't give us a final, neat answer, but it strongly suggests that the world isn't just a pile of physical things. It seems to be a dynamic, interconnected, and participatory process where consciousness plays a crucial, maybe even fundamental role. We're left not with a tidy conclusion, but with a much more thrilling question. If reality is shaped by observation, what kind of reality will we choose to observe into being? But what's your take? Is the physical world all there is, or are we just scratching the surface of something much deeper? Drop your theories and ideas in the comments below. I really do read them. And if this trip down the rabbit hole of existence sparked your curiosity, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We have so many more mysteries to explore together,